Hello, my name is Chard. Today I will be speaking with you about the differences between the novel The Book Thief, written by Marcus Zusak in 2006, and the movie The Book Thief, directed by Brian Percival in 2013. A few topics I will be informing you about are the use of foreshadowing, the portrayal of innocence, the use of colors, and Rudy's death. Without further ado, let us begin. Enjoy! To start us off, I would like to talk about how the book uses a ton of foreshadowing that is seen very plainly in bold text. It is shown to be the narrator making a comment or clarification, and is the main means of foreshadowing throughout the entire story. However, the narrator rarely shows himself in the movie and only appears at two moments. The first is when he comes to take away Liesel's brother. He notifies us that he is dead by using the descriptions that he does, such as,
"One small fact. You are going to die. Despite every effort, no one lives forever."
The second and last time death appears is at the very end when all the main characters are killed.
No one intended to destroy a street named after heaven. It was a misread on a map. No sirens that evening.
I believe that Brian Percival decided to minimize the occurrences that death appeared in this film, to increase the effect when he did appear. The effect is grim because you realize that when he appears, someone is going to die, whether it's a little kid or an entire street. However, there were differences in between the two clips. The first clip showed bright blue colors, which foreshadowed a peaceful death. However, in the second clip, the colors were very dark and the shadows were very prominent, which foreshadowed a violent and unexpected death. For my next topic, I will be explaining to you guys how Brian Percival favors innocence in his main characters over anything else. A couple major plot points from the novel were completely left out in the movie. This was to preserve the character's innocence. These events are Rudy and Liesel stealing apples from farmers, and Hans loving to smoke. Brian Percival decided to exclude these scenes from the movie because in our modern culture, both of these activities are looked down upon. It is very important to become attached to the characters in order to feel the full emotional effect of the hardships this family must face in order to complete the story. Including these scenes would have made it harder to relate and get attached to these characters. In the end, including these scenes would have made the final scenes much less emotional, and the entire value of the story would have been less substantial. Therefore, Brian made a good decision excluding these scenes. The last idea I will be addressing is Rudy's death and just how different they are in the novel and the movie. In the novel, Rudy's death was very simple and had very little dramatics. In fact, Rudy's death as well as his sister Bettina's was all fit into one paragraph. The paragraph read, "He lay in bed with one of his sisters. She must have kicked him or muscled her way into the majority of the bed space, because he was on the very edge with his arm around her. The boy slept. His candlelight hair ignited on the bed, and I picked both him and Bettina up with their souls still in the blankets. If anything else, they died fast and they were warm." This quote shows that Marcus Zusak decided not to make a huge deal out of Rudy's death. However, the director of the movie took a different approach. In the movie, Rudy's death was probably the most emotional and dramatic scene in the entire film. Here's a short clip to show you what I'm talking about.
So Lisa. I need to tell you. Don't speak. I need to say it. Woody?
This is an important scene in order to develop the emotional effect that this film has on the viewer. In fact, you can already tell the difference between the novel and the movie. The novel, Rudy didn't say a word to Liesl before he died. He just died in his bed with his sister. But in the movie, he did this whole speech and almost revealed that he loved her. This was not explicitly written in the script. However, many events previous to this scene were foreshadowing these. First of all, right when Rudy met Liesl, he asked to race for a kiss. Secondly, when Liesl stopped spending time with him because she was stealing books for Max, he began to whine more and more. This showed that he was attached to Liesl and that he could not let her go. Rudy may not have been about to say, "I love you" to Liesl. However, this is what the audience expected. Therefore, when he died right before finishing his sentence, the emotional effect was multiplied and the grief was sudden. I believe that Brian Percival decided to add this scene to increase the emotional effect and attachment to Rudy right before you had to let him go, to increase all the emotions that were welling up inside you.